Imagine someone you trusted gave you a legal document with a lot of fine print and said, "Just sign it. I didn't really read it because I can't really understand it either, but if you just sign it, we could have a lot of fun. Just sign it." Would you sign it? When accessing a website or downloading an application on your phone, computer, browser, or anywhere else, clicking accept or continue or create account without reading and understanding the terms and conditions is signing that document without understanding it. It's a legal binding agreement between you and the app company. So when it comes to our students who trust us as educators to know what the fine print says, we want to make sure we know what we're agreeing to. The Ask Before You app process is comprised of a community of educators submitting apps for review and processing the apps for approval. This is done so that we can work collectively to ensure apps are safe for student use, and so that classroom educators can quickly see which apps have been submitted for vetting, which app companies have agreed to the protections of our students, and which apps are not for student use because the app company would not agree to our terms. Before we get too far, it's important to note that the term apps is used loosely in this video and in the Ask Before You app process. To clarify, apps, for the sake of the Ask Before You app process, can be ClassLink applications, websites, Chrome extensions, and add-ons. Now, before we walk through CJUSD's Ask Before You app process, let's talk a little bit about Assembly Bill 1584. Let me find my law book around here. Just kidding. AB 1584 is a state assembly bill all about student privacy and protections in California. It addresses student protections in social media, data sharing, student work copyrights, and so much more. But districts across California needed a process to ensure they were protecting students, but being as efficient as possible given limited staff, but also taking into account the importance of the work at hand. It was for this reason that the California Student Data Privacy Consortium created the California Student Data Privacy Agreement, also known as a CSDPA. A CSDPA is a contract that was written by the consortium so that school districts may simply send the agreement to an app company to complete and sign. It even has a section, Exhibit E, where if an app company signs this particular page, all school districts in the state of California are covered under that one contract that was signed. These CSDPAs list terms and requirements that the application companies must adhere to, including school districts are the owners of the data submitted to the app company. There are restrictions for the app companies to share data with third parties. FERPA, COPA, SOPIPA, and other California privacy statutes will be adhered to. Data breaches will be communicated to school districts, and so much more. This is why CJUSD requires that any app that collects any student data or student work, or even requires students to log in, has a signed California Student Data Privacy Agreement, CSDPA. This protects our students, our staff, and our CJUSD community. Okay, let's talk about the Ask Before You app process. Any CJUSD educator who has found an app that they would like to use with students must first check to see if the application is already vetted. To do this, log into ClassLink. Within ClassLink, there's a green folder called Ask Before You app. Within that folder are links. One of them is titled Ask Before You app portal. When you click on the Ask Before You app portal, you will see a list of all of the applications CJUSD has already vetted, the approved and the not approved. Whether searching by title or scrolling through all of the apps, teachers can see if an app was already processed and if it was approved or not approved. If the app is listed with not approved in the title or has an icon of a red X, then the app is not approved for student use. If the app is listed with a green checkbox, then the app has been approved. If the app is not listed, it has either not finished being vetted or it has not even been submitted for vetting. In this case, feel free to submit the app you're looking for so that it may be vetted. We'll talk about how to do this in a minute. Approved apps may be shared by the teacher to students through the teacher console in ClassLink, also known as the backpack. For help with this, check out the IT Help Center. Now, how to submit an app for vetting. You will want to go back to ClassLink in the green Ask Before You App folder. And this time, click the Submit an App form link. This link will take educators to a page in the CJUSD intranet. The form asks for CJUSD educators to add their CJUSD email address, the name of the application they would like vetted, the URL of the website for that application, and the link to the privacy policy for that application. While it seems like a lot of information to collect and submit for app vetting, we wouldn't ask for it if we didn't need it, I promise. Once the form is submitted, it takes one of two different paths. The first path is where a CSDPA is not required. If an educator submits that the form does not collect personally identifiable student information, that it does not collect student work, or that a student does not need to log into it, then the app is just verified and submitted as a work order to be set up for student use. The second path is where a CSDPA is required because it does collect student information, or a student does have to log into it, or it does collect student work. Basically, it collects student data. This path takes some time. The IT department checks to see if another district has shared a signed CSDPA because they signed that Exhibit E. Again, if they sign Exhibit E from another school district, Colton can just use that CSDPA and we're covered. But if there is not a signed CSDPA with a signed Exhibit E, then the IT department sends a blank CSDPA to the app company to sign. They have 14 days to return that signed CSDPA to CJUSD in order for that app to continue with the submission process. If they take longer than 14 days, or if they never get back to CJUSD, the application is not approved and will be added to the ClassLink public portal as not approved. Regardless of whether the app company signs the CSDPA, any app request will then become an IT work order to either set up the app for student use for those that are approved, or if not approved, at least add the app to the Ask Before You app portal so that all teachers can see that the app was vetted. The submitter of the form will then be notified of the outcome of the request once the application is approved or not approved when it becomes the IT work order. It will take a bit of time for IT to grant access to students, but once it does, the ticket will update for the teacher who submitted the form in the first place, and they will be notified that the app is available in ClassLink. So that's it. You see, just as student safety on campus is important, so is the safety of our students' identities and property. CJUSD is a proud community of educators who take pride in protecting students in digital spaces. Be sure to check the Ask Before You app portal for updates and submissions for app vetting. The Submit an App form will be open for CJUSD educators to submit apps for vetting in the fall and in the spring each year. If the form is closed when you would like to submit an app for vetting, please make a note and make sure to submit the app when the form opens back up again. The Information Technology and Educational Technology teams at CJUSD would like to thank you for being a part of the community that supports safety of our students and digital citizenship, which give our students a safe place to learn and grow.